Hello, I'm G and welcome to the End Gamers. Now, if you remember last year, me and my very good friend, the Multigen Gamer, we did a video talking about all our gaming pickups from around the start of lockdown leading all the way up to Christmas of 2020, and I thought I'd like to do that myself. So I'm with you today and I'm going to be showing you all of my pickups from 2021. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be showing off today is this. This is the Microsoft Xbox wireless headset. It cost $89.99 from Microsoft, Amazon, and I'm pretty certain any other retailer out there, unless the scalpers have got their hands on it, which they did at the start when this first came out back in March. I've never really invested in a lot of money for a decent headset before. I've always used like a cheap pair of 20 quid Turtle Beaches, which, you know what, they actually do a pretty good job, but I always wanted better audio from a headset, and that is where this comes in. The audio quality is fantastic. It's also supported by I think Dolby Atmos and DTS if you do have them. The little microphone here just folds down, and it also has a little light there, so if you are muted, the light will turn off. If you're not, the light will be on. Nice little indicator there. The left dial controls the balance of your chat and your audio, and the right dial, when you turn it, controls just the volume, the overall volume. Yeah, this is a good solid outing from Microsoft here, and well worth the money. To celebrate the 30th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda, Nintendo released a few things, and one of them was this. This is The Legend of Zelda Game & Watch, which has 4 built-in games to it. These are The Legend of Zelda and The Legend of Zelda 2, which were released on the NES or the NES. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which was released on the Game Boy, and also a game called Vermin, which is like a digital game of whack-a-mole, where you control this strange version of Link with like dead dangly arms, and a mallet in each hand, where you are whacking these virtual moles that appear out of the ground. It's a nice little touch. It also contains a clock and like a game timer. Now, the build on this is fantastic. The screen is gorgeous. It sounds just as you remember it. And if, like me, you're a massive fan of The Legend of Zelda or just nostalgia, go and check it out. It is on the pricey side. It does cost, I think it was $49.99. I managed to get 10 quid off in a sale on Amazon. Yeah, it's got my seal of approval, and yeah, go and check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you do go and buy one. Staying on the topic of the Legend of Zelda 30th Anniversary Edition, Nintendo released this. This is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Now, this is a remaster of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, which was originally released on the Nintendo Wii, and came with an attachment to the bottom of the Wii Remote to add more motion control to the Wii Remote. This game is actually designed to have more control in mind. It was a bit controversial with some fans not liking the control system. Also, the story was a bit naff, wasn't it? I honestly think this is one of the weakest entries into the Legend of Zelda series, probably next to the Legend of Zelda 2 if I'm completely honest. But the fact that they re-released this again, adding extra controls, like button-only controls, for if you want to use the Switch in handheld mode, or even if you just want to use the Switch Pro controller instead of waving your arms all around. It works okay, to be honest. I think it works a hell of a lot better than the motion controls. But yeah, like I said, I think this is one of the weakest entries into the series, and my recommendation is to See if you've got a mate out there that does have the game either for the Switch or for the Wii, and see if you can borrow it. Nintendo games seem to hold their value pretty well, so I don't think you'd be finding a pre-owned copy of it much cheaper than you would brand new. But I did buy it from the Nintendo store, and I did get, as a bonus, this lovely little steel case, a steel book with it as well, which the art design in it is actually really nice. It's just a shame that the game's a bit naff, to be honest. But yeah, go and find a mate, see if they've got it, see if they'll let you borrow it for a little while. Also, with The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, Nintendo released their obligatory amiibo, which is Zelda and the Loftwing. The Loftwings are large birds in which the people of Skyloft, which is the first floating island in the game where they all live, and the birds are like their transportation. But this amiibo came with like a controversial feature. It's actually the only way that you can fast travel between the sky and the ground. It's actually like a paid DLC, really. And things like this really should be just like a quality of life added improvement. It should never be hidden behind amiibo. Yeah, so it got slated a lot. Nintendo got slated for this quite a lot. And quite rightly so, to be honest. But as amiibo go, the build quality, the artwork, everything about amiibo, it's just beautiful. Nintendo do such a good job with the amiibo, the way that they look. It's just a shame that the features didn't quite match up to that. My next pickup is this. This is Pokemon Snap, or should I say, new Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo Switch. Now, this is the very first Pokemon Snap game, or should I say, the only Pokemon Snap game since the original on the Nintendo 64. Now, when this game actually come out, I did a quick 20-minute video on it on the first 20 minutes or so. Go check it out if you haven't done it already. But as I said in that video, I absolutely love this game. It's gorgeous, and it's, as a Pokemon fan when I was a bit younger, yeah, I've gone off the boil a bit now, but I would have dreamed to have been able to play a game that looks as good as this. So yeah, go and check out my other video to get a good impression of what I think of the game. But yeah, I genuinely really do love this game, and I would genuinely recommend it. Back in 2013, Nintendo released Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U, and it came out to really, really good reviews and actually ended up being, I think, the second best-selling game for the system, selling almost 6 million units. And to say that the Wii U managed to sell 6 million units of a game, you know, says a lot, because the Wii U hardly ever sold a console. It was, in fact, classed as a bit of a failure as far as Nintendo consoles, or as fact as consoles overall go. I love the Wii U, although I will admit its flaws. But Super Mario 3D World, it came out, and you get to play as 4 different characters, which is Mario, Luigi, Peach and Toad, each with their own unique ability in order to finish the levels and find all the collectibles within the game. It came out after Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, and obviously it just looks like an updated version of that, and looks and plays a hell of a lot better, as you would expect. And as a bonus for when it came out on the Nintendo Switch, we also get a bonus game in there called Bowser's Fury, which I haven't played yet. I know I'm here doing a pickups video and telling you all about these games, and I haven't even played one, or played part of it, but I will go back to it and give it a shot. I just think I want to finish the original 3D World part of it first before I go and tackle that one. But from what I've heard, it's a very, very good game, a very good part of the game, and I would recommend you go out and buy Super Mario 3D World for the Nintendo Switch. back just before I was a teenager, and around the time I was a teenager, I used to go around to my friend Rob's house pretty much every evening, and we used to play on our video games. And one video game used to stick out for me, and that game was Desert Strike. Now, I absolutely love Desert Strike, and I sometimes borrowed it. But I never had a chance to get Desert Strike. I always didn't really have a lot of money to go out and buy as many games as I wanted to buy. But now I'm a grown-up, and now I can actually go out and buy some games. So not only did I go out and buy Desert Strike, but I also bought Jungle Strike. And I didn't just buy Desert Strike and Jungle Strike, I also bought Urban Strike. All three for the Sega Mega Drive. All three games absolutely fantastic. And I've been playing a lot of these recently. I cannot stress to you how good these games really are, and just how much nostalgia they bring back for me. And I managed to get these on eBay for 50 quid. All three games for 50 quid. For me, it was an absolute bargain. And I am so happy. This is one of the highlights of my pickups for the entire year. Only one thing is better in my opinion, which I will be saving till later, but it's Desert Strike, Jungle Strike, it's Urban Strike, man, yeah! After the success that both Nintendo and Rare had after the release of GoldenEye 007, there was another spy thriller out in the cinemas around that time. And I am, of course, talking about Mission Impossible. So Ocean Software decided to release Mission Impossible for the Nintendo 64. Now, I think this was an exclusive at first. Now, I will stand corrected if I'm wrong. Please let me know in the comments if I am. But this was touted to be the next GoldenEye. This was going to be bigger and better than GoldenEye. Unfortunately, it never lived up to that success. It was average at best. I'm sure that there were some levels in it that were really good, some of it were really buggy and a bit of a mess. I only briefly played this game, so I will be going back to have a go at this and see just how much it's actually held up. I'm not really expecting much from it, to be honest. But yeah, I am genuinely looking forward to giving this another shot. So my mission, if I choose to accept it, is to try and finish it. I very much doubt it. Back in 2018, Nintendo released Super Mario Party for the Nintendo Switch. And this is a game that really should be played with a lot of people, or up to 4 people, to get the most out of it. And if you don't really have a lot of people in your household to play it, then online is a must. Online was not included in Super Mario Party, although I do think it was added much later. Let me know in the comments if I'm right or wrong on that one. But a lot of the games in this were using all the motion controls, and they got a little bit fiddly. Some of the games are a bit crap. So it got average reviews. It's an alright game, I enjoyed it, but I would like to have had a lot more out of my Super Mario Party experience. So when Mario Party Superstars come out this year, it came out with 2 better reviews. It does have online play straight from the start, which is a great idea, thank you Nintendo. But what they've done to make this game popular is that they've taken all the fan favourite boards and I'll say all the fan favourite games, I should say most of them, and they've put it into this one game now, and it's now just a love letter to fans of Mario Party. I've played many games online of this. I've only won one. It's so chaotic and it's fun, and sometimes you could be winning throughout the entire game, and then that one last turn you lose all your stars, or you lose enough stars for somebody to come from 4th into 1st, and you're there kicking and screaming. So, Mario Party Superstars is a good game. I do recommend this over Super Mario Party. Go and check it out. Now, about 15 years ago, 12-15 years ago, I got rid of something that now, as a video game collector, I kind of wish that I kept hold of. And I'm pretty certain I'm not the only collector to have done this. But now, I've gone back out and bought myself a new one. And I haven't just bought the same model, I've bought the updated model. I have bought myself a PlayStation 2, boxed with 2 controllers and an official memory card. Now, I got this with a bunch of games in the bundle as well. Now, the games are Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, fantastic game, originally released for the PSP. One of the best games for the PlayStation 2. The Simpsons Hit and Run, absolutely fantastic game. If you haven't played Simpsons Hit and Run, first of all, why? Secondly, go and play it. Third, Burnout 3 Takedown. Fantastic game, absolutely fantastic. Not a fan of racing games, but games like this, games like Forza, yeah, they really do the job for me. Which is a good job because Burnout Revenge was also part of the bundle. Another great game. And speaking of not so great games, this was also part of the bundle, which was Friends, the one with all the trivia. So, fuck that one. If anyone wants it, hit me up. I'll send it out. You can have it for free. I don't give a fuck. I'm not having that shit. So yeah, I am now the proud owner of another PlayStation 2, and I'm going to be going out there and trying to find some brand new PS2 games for me. My next pickup is Excitebike 64. Now, this is the second game in the Excitebike series next to the only other release, which was Excitebike for the NES. Now, I'm not counting any of the spin-offs that came out as well. These are the only 2 main games in the series. I'm not really into motocross games, so I only bought this really just to collect it. But you know what? It looks okay. I'm definitely going to give it a shot. I mean, I'm not spending 25 quid just for it to collect dust on my shelf. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah. Now, to add to my growing list of Wii games, I bought a job lot of 4 games. These 4 games are Red Steel, which is a launch title for the Wii. I remember the gunplay being pretty good, swordplay being a bit average, but it was one of those games that was testing out how you use the Wii remote really, and yeah, I like the idea behind it. I'm definitely going to be giving this another go. The second one was, I remember owning this one when it first came out, and it was House of the Dead Overkill. Now, not only is there a lot of shooting and killing in this game, as you would imagine with a House of the Dead title, there's a lot of F-bombs being dropped in this game as well, which is unknown for a Nintendo game to drop one F-bomb, let alone multiple. But this game was absolutely fantastic. I loved every second of it. It also came with House of the Dead 2 and 3 Returns, which if it's anything like the arcade game, then yeah, I think I'll enjoy it. And the last one is a very, very controversial title, which was Manhunt 2. Now, I remember playing the original Manhunt on PlayStation, and oh god, it was so gruesome. And I thought that a game like that would have been banned. But it wasn't, and Rockstar decided to make the second one. But the game had to be very, very heavily edited in order for it to get a mature rating or an 18 certificate over here in the UK. Yeah, some of the deaths in this game are extremely gruesome. What I know is that you play as a guy inside an asylum, and you've pretty much got to try and escape. And you're there. You use the Wii remote, I think, in ways to replicate some of the deaths. I might be wrong on that. Please correct me if I am wrong. But yeah, this game, yeah, it was very controversial. I'm not sure when I'll give this a go. I probably will give it a go. I am intrigued with it. But yeah, let's, no, I'll test it out. I've got the banner. This year, Nintendo released Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread is the last of the 2D Metroid games, which I think is spanning the story straight from the first game all the way through to this one. I don't think it includes Metroid Prime or anything like that. I'm not going to stand here and tell you exactly what goes on within the story, because admittedly it's gone well over my head. But what I will say is that it follows the route that pretty much every Metroid game follows. You land on a planet and you are going through the world, finding power-ups, upgrades to your suit, your weapons, fighting bosses, which then give you more abilities to then explore more areas of the map, more areas of the world, to just upgrade yourself, and gives you a better chance to defeat the final boss and to get off the planet. This one was actually, this idea was actually originally conceived for the Game Boy Advance, but I think it was just too technical to do. So obviously it's been on ice for so long, and now it's finally come to fruition. There are some enemies in this game called the Emmy, which are robots which I think they've been hacked, and they kind of stalk you in certain areas in the game, and you have to try and escape them. If they catch you and you don't manage to kick out of it, it's instant death. So save often, and I think you will really enjoy this game. And along with Metroid Dread came the obligatory amiibo. This is a 2-pack which contained Samus and Emmy, and when you scan them on the NFC readers, either on your Switch or on your controllers, they give you bonus things. Like so if you scan Samus, you will get restored energy, and if you scan Emmy, you will get restored missiles. You can only use these once a day, but like I mentioned before with amiibos, these are absolutely beautiful. They have been designed so well, and I like to keep them in the boxes. I know this is controversial along with a lot of amiibo collectors, but I just think the boxes just look so cool. So yeah, this is where they're staying. About 6 months ago, I looked on YouTube and watched a video from my good friend, the Multigen Gamer, who went out in Manchester taking photos using his Game Boy camera. And I remember having a Game Boy camera as a kid, and just watching how much fun he had making this video, it inspired me to go and get another one. Now, I traded my old one in, so it's very nice to have this Game Boy camera again, and it reminded me of just how much fun I had with it. But you need the printer in order to get the most out of it, so I bought myself a printer as well. Now the paper, Nintendo don't make the paper for it anymore, and nobody actually makes the paper for it anymore. The paper had like an adhesive on the back, so you could just stick it onto things like notebooks and pencil cases and things like that. But now it's just like a special kind of till roll that you need. I'm going to be having a lot more fun with this Game Boy camera and printer now that I have one. I do recommend you go and check out the Multigen Gamers video on the Game Boy camera. I'm going to put a link in the comments below if you do want to go and check it out. And if you do go and check it out, send him a little message and tell him that G sent you. This year saw Nintendo release the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass, which now includes games from the Sega Mega Drive and the Nintendo 64. They also announced that they were going to make and release wireless controllers for the Mega Drive and the N64. Now, I'm not going to go out and spend 50 quid on on a Sega Mega Drive controller, but I will buy a Nintendo 64 controller. Now, I know a lot of people out there hate this controller. They hate how ugly it looks, but for me, I love it. It's not a GameCube controller. GameCube controller, in my opinion, is still the best controller I've ever held. But I had so much fun with this controller, and I had so much fun that I was able to ignore its flaws. Yeah, it felt unbalanced at times and things, but the build quality on this is fantastic. It's just as it used to be, except for the closing of the port at the back and the fact that it's now wireless and contains rumble inside. So now we don't have any use for one of these bad boys. Unfortunately, because I would like to have kept this free so that I could use the expansion pack, sorry, the memory pack and the rumble pack as well. But the stick, yep, that still works properly. I don't know how long it's going to be before it starts feeling a bit loose. But yeah, this pad is absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm not going to talk about the pricing of the Switch Online. It is a bit of a joke. If you can jump into Family Pass, go out and jump into that. It's only a few quid, not your 60 quid or whatever the bloody hell they're asking for. But if you can get hold of one of these, again, if the scalpers haven't got them all, and if like me you do like the N64 pad, go get it. But, you know, each to our own, eh? My next pickup was a game that I always wanted to try for the Super Nintendo. Because of the similarities, or in some similarities it had with Mario Kart. It was, in fact, Street Racer. Now, there were ports of this for I think for the PlayStation and the Saturn, I believe. But this was the original one. Now, when I say similarities with Mario Kart, it was an arcadey type game where you're in little cars. There was, I think, 8 different characters, each with their unique abilities, but there was no projectiles to throw at everyone. You actually just had to get up close and personal and hit them using the L and R shoulder buttons. And if you took enough damage yourself, you're out. Kind of reminds me a little bit of F-Zero. That was a bit like that. Apart from you didn't hit people there, you had to replenish your health, and I don't know if you do this on this game or not. But it was also it also had like a 4-player game using the Super Nintendo multi-tap, and the game was separated into 4 horizontal sections, and it looked really horrible and really stretched. But from what I know, or from what I've heard, there was no lag with it, so it worked pretty well. So I'm looking forward to giving Street Racer a chance. I don't think it's going to be better than Mario Kart. I don't think I'm going to like it as much as I love Mario Kart. But another arcadey, funky, kind of crazy game like that, I'm up for it. Street Racer also has some other multiplayer modes other than just racing against each other. There's like a football one, which looks pretty fun, and there's also like a last man standing kind of one as well, where you're just ramming into each other. It looks a bit shit, but again, I'm going to give that a shot. Now, I've saved the best till last. When Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes came out, Capcom released a collector's edition which contains statues of Leon Kennedy and Jill Valentine. And recently, they decided to do the same sort of thing for the collector's edition of Resident Evil 8. This is the Chris Redfield statue. It comes with a silenced weapon and also the plastic base, just like the other 2 statues before. The build quality in this is fantastic. It also comes with like a cloth map and a card and an art book. I have, however, done a unboxing of this, so please go and check it out if you haven't already. The game, however, is absolutely fantastic. It's building off the back of Resident Evil 7. The protagonist, again, is Ethan Winters, and again, it's played in a first-person perspective. There is new villains in there with like werewolf kind of characters, also some new boss types, new boss characters in there, including the now very, very famous Miss Demetresque. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I loved every second of it. There are 4 unique areas in there, each with their own different kind of horror in there as well. It's definitely worth going picking up, and I'm pretty certain it might be in a sale in January somewhere else. So if you haven't already bought it, or you haven't already played it, please go out there, give it a shot. You will not be disappointed in this game. So that's it. Those are all my gaming pickups for 2021. If you do like what we do here at the EGW, please drop us a like and a subscribe, and why not jump in the comments and let us know what you bought this year. I can't wait to read them. So, I know that 2021's been a bit of a shit year for everybody, slightly better than 2020, but from me and Ray, we would both like to wish you all the very best for 2022. And until 2022 comes, it's game over.